The Prime Minister has often come across as a timid technocrat, but that all changed as he took on George Galloway. British democracy is in peril. The land that pioneered parliamentary governance is now increasingly scarred by extremism and sectarianism. It is a profoundly disturbing trend that has been epitomized by the victory of George Galloway in the Rochdale by a demagogue whose inflammatory oratory is matched by his enthusiasm for anti-Western despots. He has spent most of his ugly career fomenting division, especially through his unhinged hatred of Israel and his blind worship of the Palestinian cause. What makes his triumph all the more frightening is that it follows months of aggressive disruption in our cities by an alliance of left-wing radicals and Islamic militants in support of Palestine. As these protests have escalated, the climate of intimidation has worsened. Incidents of racist bullying and abuse. Many Jews in London now complain that they feel as if parts of the capital have become no-go zones. Death threats against MPs have grown dramatically, so much so that some of them have to be provided with bodyguards. Only last week, the notorious, anti-Semitic slogan, "From the river to the sea," was projected onto Big Ben. Yet, even in this crisis, it seems that some good may come out of Galloway's election. So shocking was his win, so disturbing were its implications, that the Downing Street machine has finally been galvanized into action in defense of the liberal values that built our society. Since the Hamas massacre on the 7th of October last year, Rishi Sunak has been his usual diligent and energetic self in his handling of Middle Eastern policy. But until yesterday evening he had yet to exude a sense of resolute authorities. He did not seem in command of events, just as the authorities seemed to lose control of the streets. But tonight we saw a very different Prime Minister. Out went the smooth technocrat. In came the defiant warrior for British democracy and fairness. Usually so calm, he exuded a real sense of anger as he stood at the lectern. It was as if Galloway's election, which he rightly described as beyond alarming, had flicked a switch in his head. He was, to use that phrase from the Hollywood classic movie network, as mad as hell, and he was not going to take it anymore. Exuding passion and purpose, it was perhaps his most impressive performance since he entered number 10. In this spirit of determination, he warned of forces that are deliberately trying to tear us apart, and called on the public to stand together in defense of Britain's successful, multi-ethnic, multi-faith society. Those words had a particular resonance when he uttered them, for as he said, he is the first non-white Prime Minister of Britain, leading the most diverse government in our political history. There are two legitimate criticisms that could be made of the speech. One was that it did not contain much meat in terms of policy. We have heard before rhetoric about boosting deportations for those who hate our society, yet such fine words have never been realized. Similarly, the promise of more powers for the policy was vague, while the pledge to strengthen the Prevent scheme shows too much faith in a program that has been poor in stopping radicalization. The other justified charge is that the Prime Minister should have given a speech like this months ago, but at least he has done, and with its powerful tone it could mark a turning point.